kill flow rep sabi.
My legacy shall endure.
How's it going? Good evening, everyone. And good evening to you, Fisayo. Welcome to the stream. And also, of course, to the man in the back, Stark himself. Good evening to you. Welcome to the stream. And we've got a very interesting lineup here of players and then a very interesting fixture. Welcome, guys, to the quarterfinals of the seasonal showdown for ML Hub to mark the end of the season. And we've got the 10-man ban because this is a tournament lobby, so there's no need for a lobby ban. So you guys, in case you're wondering, you didn't actually miss anything out. But before we get into the draft pick, I have to welcome Fisayo onto the scene because he is the analysis caster with me here. Hi, hello, Fisayo. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much for the warm reception always. I'm happy to be here again this evening, and let's hope we have a great match on our hands. So let's just enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, let's just enjoy ourselves indeed. And shout out to Stark in the back, of course. It's the one that makes the graphics you guys see and also the music in the background as well. So yeah, shout out to him doing the work, panning the screen. And so Fisayo, the band so far, you can see a Zetian, Justin and okay. I think Fisayo, it will be best if you can mute yourself when you're not talking because there's an echo there. So yeah, like the band so far, Fisayo, you can see Zetian, Justin, that's definitely two problematic mages on the side, but Conquest will lock down the Calais as the first pick. My goodness, that's a Nixia special. But no, that's Nairo rather. And that's Conquest locking down the Calais as the first pick. But so far, man, the bands. What do you think, man?
Well, my first observation was just how fast the bands were going. This shows that these teams, they came prepared. Like the bands went like real quick. I could not even think of stuff to come up with.
This land is our homeland.
Yeah, you could not think of stuff to come up with. But then Super Saiyan there with the Lapu doesn't use the Uranus. It was clear that that Uranus pick was just against Tatia because he will go for that Lapu really quickly there, locking down the Lapu for Super Hatred. Still be indecisive here, but Super Phase will go for the God. My goodness, that is a rare pick on the mid lane, man.
Yeah, that's what we call pocket picks. There's a difference between meta picks, comfort picks, and pocket picks. Pocket picks are those picks that are completely unexpected, but what do you know? They might work.
Yeah, they might work indeed. But then Mystic Favor with the Mystic Gush. So you definitely want to see some true damage there on the magic damage that Sparface will be getting out. But then that's CurseTzy with the next pick here. But on the side of Omega Esports, we can see that they have some decent CC there with the Ruby and the Vexana, man.
Yeah, even the Baxia S1 can't be counted out, and his continuous second skill. I think that stuff has a built-in slow, so the Baxia can catch up real quick. And I bet that the Baxia was meant to counter the Kalea, and they also played into the Baxia's hands. They played into Omega Esports' hands by choosing the Lapu as well. The Lapu not only deals burst damage, but it relies on his sustainability to stay in team fight. But when you have a Baxia right there in front of you, you know that the Lapu has to be very careful. You're not an Uranus that kills more the more damage you take. Your skills have to hit, and you have to spell vamp from the enemy heroes.
Yeah, and that's the fourth marksman being taken down to conclude the draft, the ban phase of the draft pick. An X shot as the Chancellor goes for it, locks down the Iritel just before El Cartel could have a chance to get their marksman in. But Super Hatred will respond by picking the Beatrix, and CurseTzy, my goodness, this Hayabusa will give him a good time because he's got two very vulnerable characters to deal with.
Yeah, but we can't count out. I was going to mention that this Iritel better go for the Purify. If not, he's going to suffer a lot from the God and the Kalea. But thank God they went for the Purify. Oh, they've changed the Hayabusa to Sun, in fact. While I do prefer the Hayabusa, I think the Sun too works because they are not going for a standard tank. The Kalea is tanky, but she mostly relies on passive to heal up, and the Lapu has to be in front. We saw what happened in one of our previous games when the Lapu was the initiator instead of the Gato. They shred him down mostly at the start of the team fight, and he has almost no impact in that match. But good to see that there's a particular change where you have the Sun. The Sun too can just back dive and take out the back lines. The Vexana, the Irritel, they have to be very careful now. Even the Estes is not left out at this point.
Yeah, it's not. I agree with that, man. And I really want to just engage the comments while the game is loading. And someone says here that Estes K, Estes why? Like really, like why go for the Estes when they have a Calais? I feel like Omega Esports didn't exactly consider a lot of scenarios with that pick there, because the Calais can easily pick off Morpheus, but then that's just me in my opinion here. But what do you think, Fisayo?
Well, the reason they went for the Estes, they can't go for another tank. If they go for another tank, I think they'll be losing out on a lot of things, because if you look at their team, they are quite balanced. They have the Baxia for tank, the Ruby for CC and tanking. They have the Irritel and even the Baxia for continuous damage. They have the Vexana for magic boss damage and CC. So I feel like the Estes actually work in that composition, and it is almost a direct counter to most of the heroes on Cartel's team. The Sun, the Lapu. The Sun deals like a short burst damage, and he either has to retreat, but if it stays too long, the Sun too is also squishy. So the Estes healing back damages like that will have to force the Sun to stay in battle more. While for the Lapu, once his ult is gone, he has a while before it leaves cooldown, and at that moment they could just do whatever it is that they want with him. It's open season, it's free game for anyone.
Yeah, open season indeed, but that open season will start with the first game, and that's the Queen's Ross stealing away the gold crab from Super Hatred there. A very wise IQ move from Hexshot. But meanwhile, up top, you can see the Litos being contested, but will be taken by CurseTzy. And that's Morpheus onto the mid lane there, rotating the Domain of the Moon Goddess onto Super Phase for that slow there. And Cheesy going onto the enemy jungle, almost on level 4 here. And that's him getting even closer to it. Okay, there's a little fight erupting here up top. And that's okay. That's the next move from Cheesy. He's trying to find the value there, but Hype Nova flickers out. And that's the Cause Blast. They're trying to find more, but no, CurseTzy. Omega Esports are not willing to take any risks in the early game. And that Super Phase there with the Mystic Field onto Hype Nova. He doesn't want to recall. I like his boldness here. But the Domain of the Moon Goddess to slow him down, and the turtle will soon spawn in the next 10 seconds.
Yeah, what happened there is one of the advantages of having an Estes in the game. But I believe the main reason why Omega Esports are not directly engaging is because the Estes is not at level 4. He doesn't have that team heal skill yet. That's his ult. So I think they're waiting for that before they can completely engage. Wow.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what happened there. I looked away for a second, and Hype Nova falls. But that Super Phase using the Mystic Gush already, and Instantaneous moves onto the turtle now, and that's the turtle almost half HP there, taken out by El Cartel, and there's little or no contest on that. Meanwhile, Cheesy, he may just want to look for a value there. That's an invade from him, but no, that's not an invade. El Cartel, they're trying to withdraw here. That's the clone technique. Instantaneous move onto the creep, and CurseTzy, okay, CurseTzy rather. Okay, Domain of the Moon Goddess to slow him down, but he's trying to salvage what's left of his jungle there, but that's the soul. Okay, Morpheus healing him up to engage him. That's Nine Slam brings him, but not able to bring him back. Conquest has to forfeit now. It's not worth it to engage in that fight. The Eternal Guard is out, and this Estes has that blessing. Okay, he doesn't have the blessing of the Moon Goddess. They have to rotate down bottom now, and Hexshot has to be careful because El Cartel 4 just might land on you. Instantaneous move onto the Eternal Guard there. And that's them trying. Morpheus flickers out. Okay, they're well of danger, but they will force out the blessing of the Moon Goddess, and that's an ultimate used by Estes.
Yeah, but I believe that now they have all the tools that they need to engage in team fights. As long as they don't fall too far behind, they might just come out victorious in the next team fight. But yeah, the thing is, El Cartel, they are not letting go of the speed of the turtle. They are pressing down taking advantage of their early lead and just capitalizing on just getting anything that they could on the map now.
Yeah, you can see CurseTzy. He's trying to bait here with the shield unity, connect onto Conquest, gets stunned, gets pulled back again. But as the title strike, Conquest flickers out. He doesn't want to commit just yet. Doesn't really have enough support there. Morpheus is supporting CurseTzy. And you know one thing about the backsteer mark is an automatic counter for the Surge of Life. So Conquest is going to have to be careful how he uses those heals around the backsteer there.
Yeah, one thing we have to mention though is this Cheesy. Bro is eating up all this
Yeah, Eternal got there, connect there, and that's the previous fighter. That is what we talked about there, man. The dive there, Scarface finds one, Reggie slash with the flicker in, but the ancestral guidance is not enough. And that's the penetrate. We're not able to take any one. Super Saiyan finishes off the kill there, and that's more where that came from. Trying to get away. Is that Gasta? I mean, this movie has a very difficult to pronounce name. Is that Gasta? God Gasta? What kind of name is that? And that's TZ on the mid lane there. They're trying to take out the tier 1 on the mid lane to open up the map. But El Cartel know what they're doing. It's either you go for the turret, you go for the jungle, or you go for the turtle. But El Cartel wants to get everything. And that's them stealing the purple buff of Conquest and CurseTzy. And really, you have to tell El Cartel don't know when to cut losses. They just want to get everything.
Yeah, they are so ahead right now, and if you are ahead in gold in levels like this is exactly what you want to be doing. The only person at almost the same level with them is this Ruby right now.
Yeah, it's always the same thing, but then that's Gasta going down, and really you have to ask yourself the question: Omega Esports, what do they have against this? And that's TZ. TZ is farming already on level 9 here, and he's the only one on that level right now. You can see that aside TZ, there's no one else. Okay, Satinos move there, connects onto Hype Nova, and you can tell it's the heal there. Title Strike connects onto one, but you can only pull back one. The SS is trying so hard, but Hype Nova falls, and that's the gang. El Cartel ranges flash, super hit and finds for TZ. Morpheus goes down. That's the Satinos move there. Find the flickers in, and Super Hater trying to find one there onto Gasta. Gasta trying to survive, but no, Conquest takes him down, and that's a 4-for-none trade in favor of El Cartels. They are pushing for an early game end.
Exactly. This is just them showing dominance. They are making a statement here. You are not on the same level. We are not on the same level with you. Put some respect on our name.
Yeah, and you can tell that they're trying their best to make sure that this game doesn't drag out, because you know how the Estes get towards the late game, man. It just gets pretty difficult once he's built. But then Morpheus already at 0-2-0, and TZ is still invading those jungle to ensure that CurseTzy doesn't even get up close to him, man. And there's this Athenos move on to the turtle there. We'll start it out. It's crazy to think that this is just the second turtle, man. And they've gone this far. Like, they pushed the first round there. Meanwhile, up top, okay, Tsunami Slam brings it back. But that will not be enough to take him out. Oh, that Nova falls. But that's the, oh, I'm offended there. Pulls him back. But that Sega connects there. Ready slash for CurseTzy for Sky can find him. In the domain of the Moon Goddess. Eternal Guard wants to take out CurseTzy. And Nova shuts him down with the Necro Cause. My goodness, that was not a good one. TZ will fall. And that has got to slow him down in farm at least.
Yeah, they really needed that shutdown. He was just moving too fast. Bro is playing a different game from Mobile Legends. I don't know what bro is on, bro. Like I said, he was just farming, taking anything and everything he sees on the map.
Yeah, everything he sees on the map. The super hatred. They're trying to push down this tier 2 on the gold lane. I like the fact that El Cartels already know that, okay, look, we're trying to end this thing early, so what matters more is the push. Okay, that's the Tsunami Slam there. Okay, Tsunami Slam brings it back, but Morpheus is on. That is it. No defense, no counter, no support, nothing. El Cartel, they pick him off without any consequence whatsoever. And that's up top. He's the fearless as usual. The Simian God is still in the business, still in the orange buff there. CurseTzy tries to stop it what's left, but no, Cheesy rectors it and goes in. That's the first fighter with the raging slash, but Cheesy steals it against Gasta. Finds one there, and there is no Estes to support because Morpheus can't come to the front lane right now. He's too busy healing the others in the back. But that's El Cartel taking down all the turrets on the outer part. Now they've just got the inhibitors left. El Cartel's CurseTzy might just be one there. Cheesy sends out the clone to poke there, but that's the heals there. Sami Slam brings CurseTzy in, and he's down in the Mystic Gosh. My goodness. What can Omega Esports do at this point, Tayo?
Yeah, the only I don't even know. I don't know because like we can all see, they are so ahead right now that the backside is looking just like an average marksman to this team. You can't. They caught the Baxia and busted him down in a matter of seconds. They shredded him. In fact, let's use that word, shred.
Yeah, I mean that was actually funny, but there's the Mystic Forge there, okay, but that will not be enough. Flickers in those super phase. That was a risky move. He was trying to get some kills there. El Cartels, hopefully that's not them beginning to make unnecessary moves there. That was super phase, losing out his flicker, but that will be a dive there. And that's Slam brings him out. Nova is down, but that's CurseTzy trying to salvage what's left, and Conquest falls. A punish for their mage. Gasta flickers in, pulls it back. Super hatred flickers out, and that's the person of Moongon is coming down. His super hatred switches back to Nibiru. Nibiru's passion, but that's missing Gosh to push them back. Omega Esports, they're trying to push them back. But El Cartels, the Lord is coming and the siege is about to start. And El Cartels are not retreating. CurseTzy, now with the Shield Unity, they have to melt down this Lord. That's the previous fight that jumps in. Spot Saiyan, they're trying to find one. They're already slashed, and CurseTzy is down. And they have supposed to figure out Morpheus, you're already low. And there's no front line here. And that's the X shot. Was getting down to Mr. Gosh, but the Lord is approaching right now. And super phase. El Cartels cannot push the base right now. They have to give up, but that's the clone Cheesy. Not willing to risk it out with his real body. And El Cartels, they want to take down inhibitors because that's what really matters at this point. They want to end early. They have to make sure that all the turrets are down for one final push. That's the title strike. Samstar bring him out, and Kadita is gone. That is the pickoff that El Cartel has learned against Omega. If they want to end this game early, that's the inhibitor falling down. They might just do it. This just might be it. And the base goes back into the backline. And that's the penetration for headshot falls. Morpheus finds the kill, and El Cartels in an early game win. In a less than 10-minute game, El Cartels take game one as they make Omega Esports and show them why they're on top and end the game as they take game one.
Yeah, just like this joke that I made a few days ago, there's probably someone on El Cartel's team that is on a timer. Like, guys, let's finish this quickly. I have to go somewhere, I have to be somewhere, or it's almost a night out. So let's just finish this real quick, because the way they played the game with such precision, like they knew what they were playing for, they knew who they were going to catch, they knew what they were going to do. Like they had the game all planned out. It's just like they figured out Omega's whole thing. Like there was, I believe there was nothing Omega could have done there to have turned the game around. But who knows? Maybe there are things that they didn't try.
Yeah, and to quote the comment, someone says, "I just come on stream now. Game don't end." Well, that's something that Mobile Legends that's something that can happen in Mobile Legends. But then someone says here, and that's Emmanuel. He said Diggy for make more sense, but I'm not really sure if Diggy would have worked out there, man, because they had a Lapu Lapu, and that was Super Saiyan really diving in the back there, and that really gave Morpheus some trouble there because he was running away from him most part of the game, and you can tell that an Estes is pretty vulnerable against a hero like Lapu. So you have to consider this. I mean, you have to consider these things.
Yeah, the Lapu was definitely one of the best, one of the highlights of that match, one of the highlight heroes of that match. The way he played, he was setting up for his team such that the Kalea was playing like an assassin. He was just giving them the surprise factor. Surprise, catch one person, bring it to the back. The Lapu was the distraction. The Kalea, was the main appetite, was the main meal.
Yeah, was the main meal, but as the Caleb being banned, Omega Esports, they want to learn from their experiences, but hopefully this does not backfire though, because you don't want to underestimate El Cartels. I'm pretty sure they're not one-trick ponies. I'm pretty sure they have something in store if that Calais is banned, and I'm pretty sure that Omega Esports knows that as well, and hopefully they do get the drafting rights, and that ought to give them the least advantage in this game against El Cartels.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're probably going for another squishy roam, maybe another healer or something. That was why they banned the Kalea. At least that's one problem off their backs. They don't have to worry about the Kalea jumping in the back line, carrying their healer and stuff. But who knows? The draft is still on.
Yeah, the draft is still on. Draft is still on indeed. That's Zetian being taken down and Hypnova taking down the Alice. They're definitely trying to prevent that Alice Angela thing. I can't really blame them, to be honest, because that's one problematic thing. But then Super Hatred has to take someone down, takes down the Justine. That's actually very valid, man. If you think about it here, if you think about it, it's very valid. But Headshot, I don't know, the bands here, to conclude the second phase, he has to take someone down. That's the IESF taking down. And one more from Cheesy. One more. They have to consider some things. They might want to take down that Ruby, though. It seems like that Ruby really gave them a tough time. But no, they will go for the Fist of Zen, Badang himself. And really, Fisayo, what do you think about this fence ban phase?
This is just I think that it doesn't differ much from what they did in the first game. There was nothing, except the Badang though. So maybe they are probably trying to play someone that the Badang might counter. So they're taking that off the board.
Yeah, they've taken off the board. But then I still think they should have taken off this Sun off the board though, because the Sun was definitely more problematic there. And that Super Hatred locking down the Sun again. Okay, that's definitely not a good one because it's kind of deja vu here, right? But let's see how it goes. CurseTzy now has the Lancelot right on the back here, so that's more mobility and more damage there.
Yeah, and I won't be surprised if we see an Angela Lancelot, but I doubt that, but it's a possibility. You know, Angela on Assassins will increase that. Wow, Selena.
Yeah, that's definitely a rare pick. Probably the first pick of Selena. Actually, not probably. I correct myself. The first pick of Selena in the seasonal showdown is officially made by Superphase. And that is in the books, guys. And that's Hypnova. Okay, that might be the first Veil pick. What was with the first picks here, man? I think Omega Esports are trying to also do the same thing here. But Hypnova getting a little bit indecisive there with the Kimi pick. Kimi or Veil, which should he go for? He goes for the Paramis. Wow, Necromancer himself is finally in the building.
Yeah, and I think that this is one of the reasons why they picked off the Kalea. If they take off the Faramis, or if the Faramis stacks reduces his respawn time, and that's the Lapway game.
Yeah, Super Saiyan definitely not leaving his comfort zone there.
Yeah, so like I was saying, if they keep taking out the Faramis, it's going to cancel out his passive. So it's going to be more or less useless in that match. And the Faramis is, I think, okay, except the fact that he's going for Purify, though, it's pretty easy to pick up because apart from his S1, I think to me, the Faramis is pretty slow. I don't know, maybe just my own view, Sha. But the Faramis is pretty slow, except for his S1 that keeps him mobile. And even that mobility is meant for engagement. Sometimes you can use it defensively, but it's mostly meant for engagement because when you hit someone while in the phantom state, you can pull them and stuff like that. So I believe it's mainly supposed to be used for engagement. So there's no qualms in the picks though. Let's just see which tank they go for. Maybe there's a bit of synergy between the Faramis and their tank.
Yeah, you can tell a Cartel banning the Katu and the Hylos at the same time. You can tell they don't want that frontline advantage to Omega Esports. But then that's the Harry takedown. I really think Omega Esports banning the retail was a bit counterproductive on their end, because if you really think about it, X-Shot did pretty well with the retail, but then going with a Purify, that was probably where he fell short a little bit.
Yeah, probably fell short in terms of damage, but then he was safer with the Purify. If he had gone for any other thing, then it might be the main target instead of the Estes.
Yeah, and there's uncommon picks here. You can see X-Shot just wondering what to go for. But in this situation, there are other MMs available. There's the Broody. The Broody is available. Okay, he wants to go for the Bruno. Wow, goes for the Bruno there. That's a very interesting one there. But that might be proved to be a bit difficult because, the Bruno needs to actually watch his positioning, especially against Conquest and Super Saiyan and Super Hatred. Okay, I can see we have 3 Super now on El Cartels. So, they're really trying to show how super they are. But then that's easy there without thinking, locking down the Roger for the last pick of the draft phase. And that will conclude the draft pick, guys. Let me ask you first before I engage the comments, what draft are you inclining towards?
Yeah, definitely El Cartel's draft once more. Like they just have enough front lines to tank anything coming from. But then they sustain on Omega's team though. I think I'm liking Omega's draft more. Just that this Bruno, I don't think it fits into this composition. You know, you have to keep moving around. You have to watch out for the Abyssal Arrow. You have to watch for Gwyn's jump. There's just so much for you to maneuver around. So I feel like I've gone for a more. The Bruno is mobile, so yeah, I think it's valid. So Omega Esports composition.
Okay. Well, let's see what the comment says. So someone says the Paramix pick is a good pick, and that's an MG. That's MG saying that. And another person says no retribution. Okay, no, they actually have no retribution. And that person says number one Bruno don't shoot. Well, hopefully, Xbox performs really well with the Bruno because they really need their marksman to perform really well. And another person says Frosty draft. Okay, right? Okay, so that will conclude me engaging the comments here. And let's get straight into it. So yeah, Stark, as usual, if we appreciate if we can get a zoom out on the map so we can see it very clearly. But then Sayo, the game 2 is underway, and hopefully we get to see Omega Esports give them a run for their money and perhaps a longer game, man.
Yeah, it was still this morning. Yeah, it was this morning. This 2 a.m. thoughts that you have in the bathroom, and I was like, wait, why is it that people don't pick Edith anymore? I mean, she's kind of strong, but here is the Edith. So that's one thing.
Yeah, Abyssal Arrows already being put into the ground. There's a special migration from Conquest with Shadow Stampede to pull him back. That was an early game aggression from Conquest and Hype Nova. Nothing too serious here. Conquest trying to zone out, but the Guinevere doesn't have enough advantage here. And that's Morpheus. Just waiting to zone him out, but that's a flip over there with the ground splitter. Pull him up. Conquest, you have to be careful. But no, he will not puncture. Goes right through him. And that's the Thornrose. Conquest already low. You have to get away. Easy with open fire. Most of the Lycan form there with Lycan bounce. And Easy finds the first ball on CurseTzy. And that's a 1-for-none trade there in the early games. Well played, Conquest. You baited out CurseTzy, and Omega Esports definitely have to make up for that. But on the mid lane, the ground splitter would have to make up for that as well. And Morpheus, not on level 4 yet, but the Abyssal Arrow connects onto him. That's a 2-second stun, and Garrosh onto him. Hype Nova losing HP. Does have pain to bring him back. Counterproductive move, and Superface moves back, and that's a 2-man stun. Hype Nova goes down. That was not a productive way to use the Shadow Stampede.
Yeah, you can see what I mentioned about the Paramis phantom form being and especially engaging. One wrong move, even when you are retreating, you just pull the enemy towards you and you shoot yourself in the leg.
Yeah, you definitely shoot yourself in the leg, and that's exactly what Hype Nova did. But meanwhile, Cartel is taking the turn and starting to get a little bit confident there. Superface laying down those traps there. Meanwhile, that's a 2-man gang cooking up on the EX lane. You have to be really careful there, Gasta. And that's the Goyan bounce to get away from that engagement. Gasta is being careful. Meanwhile, down bottom there, Super Hatred with the engagement. Ground Splitter misses. And that's El Cartel. It's a 2-man invade. And Conquest will frontline that invade. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, okay, there's Hype Nova. Super Hatred down bottom on the gold lane. Hex shot. Doesn't want to play it safe here. In the jungle there, Conquest is trying to give a signal here. But meanwhile, that's a dive there. Down bottom on the gold lane. Superface not able to take out headshot though. That's okay. Special migration misses and will not miss. Purify already used, but not able to get away from the clones. And that's the clone techniques used. They try to come and save him, but no. A bit too late. Hype Nova. They have to make sure that next time he gets there fast. Rotations have to be faster on Omega Esports team.
Yeah, especially while they are relying on these Paramis for some, most of their sustaining team fights. Although, okay, they have the Lapu and the Gwen. I believe the Gwen will be going for a tanky build.
Yeah, they might go for a tanky build, man.
Pause. So the Gwen is going for a tanky build. So they have 2 frontliners now. So now depends on what Omega Esports are going to be using to counter those front lines. But the Faramis, at this point, I don't think the Faramis ult alone will be enough because there's just so much CC. And once your the extra health from the Faramis, once it's depleted, you are immobilized for a few seconds as well. That's more than enough time for you to get hit by an abyssal arrow, a special migration, and boom, you're gone.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to be very careful, especially with El Cartel's lineup. They've got a very interesting lineup. But while the game is paused, let me just engage the comments real quick. And someone says here that Son Gold here, and that's said by Isaac Toluwani. And well, a Son Gold lane, is El Cartel. El Cartel has pretty much showed us that they can do anything and somehow make it work. But another person says, hopefully this one past 10 minutes. Wow, that's something.
Yeah, the way this the match is looking, this one is going to be higher, more than 10 minutes because El Cartel at this point it doesn't seem to be playing for the fun of it. I don't think they're going for any fast games this time because of the hero comp. Although they'll have a very fast push with the Sun and the Roger, but obviously it won't be as fast as having an actual marksman in your team. But yeah, they have the continuous damage box. They have it checked. They have the CC damage. They have it checked. They have the sustain and tankiness damage. They have it checked. So
yeah,
they are all set.
Yeah, and you can see another comment here that comes in, and that's TF9 Yellow. He says, Omega, we got this. It's nice to see someone rooting for Omega Esports, but that's the unpause there from Q-Flow. We will get straight into it there. And meanwhile, up top, I don't know what's going on, but they will pull off from there. It seems like Gasta is pretty there, giving them a pretty tough run for their money when it comes to ganks. But that's El Cartel ganking there. That's Jungle Warrior. CurseTzy trying to hide there with a pass of execution. Don't throws for CurseTzy. Not able to get away. And that's Super Face paying the price for that engage there. Super Saiyan wants to get away, but not able to. Super Saiyan, you're low. You might go down. He goes down to Gasta as he gets a double and penalizes them for that invade. El Cartels perhaps need to start playing safe when it comes to those invades.
Yeah, I think they got a bit too overconfident there. They, although they are lacking in terms of tankiness, they have the sustain to overcome some of the damages. And their team fights mostly relies on the Lapu being at the front, the Gwen and the Selena landing their CCs. If not, they might just continue losing fights just like that.
Yeah, but then, okay, that's pull up there, okay, but not able to use the Valor Requiem though. Okay, Grand Splitter with the flip over there, and that's the Primal Rat. Valor Requiem comes in just in time, and Morpheus is not able to dish any damage out from the Primal Rat. That is the beauty of CC, man. It just stops whatever you want to do. Meanwhile, down bottom there, Super Hatred goes in there. That is Latinos move there onto CurseTzy, trying to get away with puncture, but the Nether Realm comes in to save him. Like Nova, to the rescue there. That's the pull up for the special migration there. For the suppression state. I don't want it to let him go, but there's a not enough to let him. But there, the vicious retriever will bring Hype Nova back immediately. That's the beauty of the Paramis, man.
Yeah, once
definitely open fire from Cheesy for CurseTzy. Get away with puncture there. Cheesy, they don't want to engage him because Gasta, you're getting low. Open fire from Cheesy. The man's looking for a kill, but El Cartel have to pull off now. They're running out of numbers, and numbers indeed. Conquest dives in head first to the special migration. Meanwhile, El Cartel down bottom, Super Hatred trying to take out the tier 2 on the EX plane, and they're coming in to support the Super Hatred. You might be caught in this one here. That's a 3 on. It's like a move, takes that CurseTzy. Super Hatred walks away, taking the turret and taking their jungler, and Omega Esports are forced to pull back from this man. It was a 3-on-1, but one died, and the remaining 2 had to leave. Meanwhile, up top, there's a gank there. Gasta not able to survive. It was a 4-on-1 and an uneven number. El Cartels, they needed to muster their numbers just to take him out on the EX lane, and that tier 1 on the EX lane is still standing, but Super Saiyan will be the one to take it down as the turtle spawns.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, it looks like they are playing on the same tempo as the first match, because now,
yep, Definitely looks like something is about to happen, but Super Hatred is just farming in the lanes, man. You can tell that Super Hatred is just, the man just has the confidence, man. You can just admire the confidence of the man. He's just farming and farming. Meanwhile, up top, okay, Conquest dives in with the special migration, but that's Gasta doing what he does best on the Let's flip over there with the edge shatter. Conquest are getting low, but just Space comes out. They're not willing to engage. Primal comes out for Morpheus. The man's not willing to commit either. And that's the protest they have from CurseTzy. That's the dive there. Conquest dives with the special migration, was not willing to commit. Edge shatter doesn't find anyone to back and forth with El Cartel. They're not willing to commit either. Open fire will miss. Will comes in, the gas is down. El Cartel pushing for more. With the ram comes to stage, the pressure stage. But El Cartels are not done. You can't be saved from them. And CurseTzy, CurseTzy gets a triple. CurseTzy is a maniac. And CurseTzy finds more. Single-handedly, he will get away from the turret. And this man is styling. But Nova returns again, and that's the beauty of the Vicious Retriever.
Yeah, CurseTzy right now, I think he deserves the title of Judge of the Jungle because we need to study his farming routine right now.
Yeah, you can tell that CurseTzy is just using the phantom executions just to run away at this point, man. I mean, what can you do at this point when all of them just lands on you? And El Cartels, you can tell Superface putting those traps in. I've got to the mid games where if Selena stuns you from the longest range, you can expect at least 2 seconds to 3 seconds stun, man. Those stun are long.
Yeah, very long indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, and like you said, the Lancelot, he hasn't shown anything. Oh,
yeah, that's a pull up there. They will pay for that one there. That's El Cartel looking high profile. No, ØMEGA looking high profile. And that's Conquest getting away. Meanwhile, Super Hatred with low HP. And meanwhile, up top, the mid lane there, the edge shatter, the Lord is almost spawned. El Cartel, that's a 2-bad special migration for Conquest. Doesn't want to commit. He doesn't have the HP to. And he knows El Cartels, the way they weigh their risk, man, they know just when not to engage and when to, and that's CurseTzy. He wants to clear the lanes, he wants to push up, or maybe he wants to push for a steal, but a bit too late there. Okay, Super Hatred, Face, that's the stun there, connect there, finds him, Carlos for the turn, throws the bottom execution, gets CurseTzy out. That was a risky play, man. But more well, that came from the rating past the nether realm will save him in time. And that's the flick out the landscape. Super Saiyan trying to get away, but will they let him? No, they will not. Gasta finds him there, and ØMEGA are pushing back for Kante. The edge shatter comes out, and Conquest flickers out for Conquest will fall. ØMEGA Esports, Gasta gets a double. But Super Hatred against the Satinos move. Super Hatred, El Cartels are melting. And so the turn of events, Gasta will fall. CurseTzy is godlike, and he will find the double, and that's the wipeout for El Cartels. In a sudden turn of events, they will take the team fight and flip it over and take the inhibitors. And looks like this might be it, Desire.
Yeah, it was just very unfortunate there. They caught the Paramis. That's the end.
Yeah, that was the end, man. GG's to everyone. GG's ØMEGA Esports. Well, they did what they could, but unfortunately, the map just wasn't in the cards for them, and that's an even shorter time duration than game one. Game one was 10 minutes and 45 seconds, and game two is 10 minutes and 12 seconds. I think it's a time attack at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they were playing everything real slow. I remember I said this match was going to be longer than 10 minutes. Then immediately after the pause, I noticed that the change came immediately after the pause. Like, it just put everything overdrive. Like, they started engaging aggressively. Their game pattern changed all of a sudden from that point onward. So we don't know what happened during the break, but something definitely changed.
Yeah, something definitely changed. And you have to ask what that is. But then that we have to get to the point where we actually finish the stream before 11, and that's to tell you how fast that game was. And the quarterfinals was in total not up to 30 minutes, guys. That was 20 minutes and 55 seconds in total for the entire game. But really, man, that was a very fast-paced game, even if you ask me. No breathing space for ØMEGA Esports.
Yeah, no breathing at all. And there was actually one unfortunate event where the CC, the last team fight, the CC could have survived, but then the Abyssal Arrow, I think he was not expecting that. He was so focused on shutting down the Roger that he didn't notice the Abyssal Arrow coming and immediately it hit him, just shut him down, and that ended the game.
Yep, that ended the game. But then that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. Thank you all for tuning into tonight's stream. I appreciate everyone here and everyone that tuned in tonight. And also shout out to MHPL organizing team as well for organizing this now showdown. And don't forget, I remain your humble caster, Black Matter, and also with my analysis caster, Isayo, also the man in the back, of course, in charge of the stream Stark. And we will see you guys in the next one. Good night.